Okay, this is a pulling gymnastics warm-up series. Typically doing this if you're preparing for any type of dynamic gymnastics work. Could be kipping pull-ups, ring muscle-ups, etc. First, starting off with banded pull-aparts. Main thing I'm looking for here is making sure that scapula stays neutral and you're trying to avoid any excessive shrugging, meaning the traps kind of taking over and being dominant in that movement. Next movement here is banded shoulder external rotation. Notice that I have a straight midline, braced midline, and I'm trying to focus on getting rotation from the humerus only, making sure that I'm not doing any like excessive scapular movement, working on just rotation of the shoulder so that those external rotators are getting firing. Next movement here is basically a pass-through with a band overhead, so just depending on shoulder range of motion through this type of rotation will vary on how wide you actually go with the band and the band thickness. I'm pretty limited when doing rotation and pass-throughs like this, so I start with kind of a wider grip and a thinner band. Next is a banded straight arm pull downs from overhead. I like to go behind the neck on these, again, like making sure that midline stays nice and braced and also keeping scapula in a neutral position, not excessively shrugging up while overhead. From here, I'll move on to hanging scapular rotations, looking for 4 to 6 reps moving in each direction. It doesn't really matter which direction you start, but basically going like into elevation, protraction, depression, retraction, back and forth, slow and controlled. Do your best to try and keep your midline nice and tight on this. Just trying to get scapula moving in like a good rotating position while hanging overhead. From there, moving on to ring rows, just warming up, muscles through the elbow, getting some pulling in, starting to sequence scapular pulling with the arms. Again, just like a basic warm up while leading into any like strict pull-up work or kipping pull-up work. From here, progressing and doing some strict pull-ups. Again, just kind of warming up biceps, pulling muscles, lats, etc. And from here, we'll start kind of building in complexity, going into some kipping dynamic work. So start with nice light tap swings or bar kip swings, whatever you want to call them. From here, starting to build in momentum as we go, and then leading into a chest to bar pull-up. So this is kind of a sped up version of what you'll do, but it'll be 8 to 12 reps of each before you move on from one to the next.